what is your approach to teaching? You mentioned sort of the Constantinopolitan style.
Now, if we want to talk about the curriculum before we talk about the choir, the problem was that the traditional curriculum, but you start with 50 persons and then you get like 2 or 3 persons who continue, right? This is normal. Because if you go back to the roots of the exercises that are used in the traditional way, that start always with mi, pa, vu, then use two notes, then 3 notes, right? This is how it goes. Actually, the root of these exercises are in the شو اسمه in the book of Medides, Chrysanthus. Okay, Chrysanthus in 1814, when he did the new method of notation, the new notation, in his book, in the same book, he wrote exercises as examples on how to read. So the exercises that are used these days in traditional way to teach Byzantine music, actually they do not teach, they explain. You see, so if you can read, for example, let's do it another way. If I want to teach you how to go two notes at the same time, okay? In the traditional way, they do ni, vu, pa, ga, vu, di, right? This is the exercise, the known exercise. First of all, this is illogical, because you know that ni, vu is different than pa, ga as an interval, right? So first of all, you are teaching the student something that is wrong. Secondly, when you know music, you know that you never think about going intervals of 2 or 3 or 4. It's never like this. If you are in mode 8, for example, okay, plagius to tetartos, you know that you have ni and di that you memorize because they are the essential notes. Ni, vu, di, ni. Okay? And then when you go from ni to ke, you think that you are going one level, one interval. It's not 5 intervals. There's nothing in music called 5 intervals in the way you are thinking. You know V, okay? It's fixed in your head. So you think about going one up, one above V. That's it. Okay? So definitely ni, vu, pa, ga, vu, di does not teach anything. Okay? And worse, it's illogical because it's making the student think that these are same intervals, though they are not the same intervals. So what I say, with the traditional way of teaching, the student learn how to chant only when he understands that what you are teaching him does not make sense. Okay? Basically, you are making it more difficult for him to learn Byzantine music. Okay? So this is why, and if you say that we have 15 students, we teach them with this curriculum, and then we have only 2 who graduate, for example, okay, it means that the problem is in the curriculum, not in the 48 persons, right? Logically. So this is why I did the new curriculum that starts basically with ni, vu, di. Ni, vu, di, the method is not my method. This is a method that has proven to be academic, if you want, in the West. Do, mi, sol. Okay? So I used the same system, okay, which definitely uses Western intervals to start with, because it's easier to start with the student. So we started with ni, vu, di, and then, so for example, if you have a student who cannot read the full scale to begin with the traditional way, he cannot start music, right? Because it starts with the scale. In this new method, he can start. If he can just repeat one note, it means that he can learn Byzantine music. No need to be able to say the whole scale. He will reach it after a while, at the end of the first level. So the method mainly, it teaches you how to think. You see? This is what I do with the new curriculum, is to teach students how to think when they are chanting. For example, if you want to go from ni to zo in the eighth mode, if you think that you are going 6 up, okay, you will never reach it in your life. 6, how are you going? It's impossible to do it. When you think that it is a half interval below ni that is essential and that you know it, then it would be very easy to say it. Okay? So basically, we start ni vudi, then we add the upper ni, then we do pa, then we do ke, then we do ra, then we do zo. And the student understand that each note has its own, if you want, inspiration, its own characteristics. Each note is unique. Okay. So then when he starts to sing that, oh, I'm going 7, 8, 2, 3, it's very easy for him. Okay. So this one. Then in the second level, when we teach the modes, teaching the modes again in the traditional way, when we finish with the first exercises, you don't have more exercises. You have a few exercises on gorgon, etc. But again, they are not teaching you. They are just explaining the gorgon. So either the students memorizes them, then he is not getting any benefit out of them, or he will not able to sing them unless he is so he has the talent. He's so talented. So basically, if he's if you want, in the traditional method, any student who is able to read music, it's because he is talented, not because he followed the exercises. That's it, for sure. So what I did again, in the second level, rather than just taking the Anastasia Mataru and just reading and reading and reading and reading, which is important, but not at this stage, I started by explaining that every mode, every style in a mode, for example, Irmoloic, Protos, it has maximum 6 to 8 phrases. That's it. All the others are variations in these phrases. So what we do is that we teach them these 6 phrases or 7 phrases, and then what they learn basically is how to read the variations in these few phrases. At the end, they will be able to read the whole Anastasia Matano very easily. You see? So it's basically because, you know, let me tell you, one of the not just important, the fantastic things about music, Byzantine music, is that if you get someone who can read good Byzantine music, usually he can sing anything, almost everything, à première vue, at first sight, right? But, and then you look at this music, and you find it so complicated. If you get someone, a Western person, he looks at it, oh, it's very complicated. How are you able to read it at first sight? Then the Western guy give him something that is not as complicated in Western music. And the Byzantine guy cannot read it. Right? Right or not? What is the secret? Why? Because in Byzantine music, first of all, they wanted something to express the majesty of the presence of God in the liturgy, right? Especially that they were in the Byzantine Empire, etc. Okay, so they were living this idea of the majesty. So the majesty means something complicated, definitely. But from the other end, you need something to be able to, something that people can read from the first sight, because you have vigils of 15 hours. It's impossible to prepare 15 hours beforehand. It's impossible, right? So how to do it? What they did is that they used like not many phrases, few phrases in each mode, but each phrase is complicated. So once you are able, it's very difficult to read these few phrases, but when you know to read these little phrases, these few phrases, you can read anything in the Byzantine music. That's the concept. Okay? It's difficult at the beginning, then it becomes very easy. It's like keys. Okay? When you know how to use these keys, you can open any door. So the concept of the second level is based on this idea of Byzantine music. If you'd give the student, the Anastasia Matarion, to read it, he will not recognize that. He will not understand that. He will reach it with experience. But meanwhile, he's repeating many exercises, many phrases. He's not understanding what's happening. And this way, he's understanding. So the new curriculum is based on the logic. It's based on how you think. Okay? I tell students, if you know how to think, you can interpret anything. You should understand, okay, and know how to think about it when reading music. I will give you an example. We have students who came to our school, to SAM. They were not able to read the scale, to interpret the scale, okay? For the traditional way, they were doomed not to start Byzantine music. With our curriculum, they became teachers of Byzantine music. As simple as that.
Mhm.